wire. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. We're going to do a lot of shows for NFL Week 16. Make sure you're following us so you never miss an opportunity to join the conversation. The next game we're going to focus on is the 11-3 Buffalo Bills going up against the 3-11 Chicago Bears. This game is on CBS. Where I see it, Buffalo is a 9-point favorite, and the over-under is set at 40.5 points. Some gambling trends before we get analysis. The Bills are 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 games overall, while the Bears are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games overall. The favorite is 3-1-1 against the spread in the last 5 meetings between the two teams. The under is 7-0 in the Bills' last 7 road games, and the over is 7-1 in the Bears' last 8 games overall. Adam, what are your thoughts about the matchup between maybe Josh Allen and Justin Fields, knowing I feel like we all are going to come out on the same play when it comes to the money line?
Yeah, I think so too. I think you're right about that. But this is another game where weather will be involved. 6-7 degrees, 20-mile-an-hour winds at kickoff. Philadelphia was laying 9 at Chicago last week, and now Buffalo's coming back laying 8.5. Chicago is number 1 in rushing in the league, and Buffalo's 8th in rushing. I think you're going to see a lot of ground game here. But just because it's cold doesn't mean you can't throw the football either. So I think that's the edge to Buffalo. Also, edge to Buffalo, Chicago's rush defense is 27th in the league, which is really bad. So I think between Allen and Singletary, I think they can get big chunk plays. And Philadelphia and Chicago did put up 45 points in cold weather. A little bit of windy, not as cold as it's going to be on Sunday. So Buffalo money line, I don't like the 8.5. We talk about it all the time. Anything over 6 is really hard to cover these days in the NFL. So I love Buffalo on the money line. And I'll buy the points down a little bit. I would actually lean to the over here. I think 40.5 is very doable. Like I mentioned, Philly and Chicago got to 45 last week, and I don't think Philly even played their best offensive performance. So really like the over here and Buffalo on the money line.
I'm going to jump in with my pick. I certainly agree with Adam right away. The over is the play for me. I think it's the best play out of this game. I like the over 39 after I buy it down. And like I said a moment ago, I like Buffalo on the money line. I'd fold them into some parlays. I could see Buffalo covering on the spread, but I'm not going to touch that one until we get closer to kickoff to see where public money comes down. Lope, do you disagree with me? Do you agree with Adam? What are your thoughts on this game?
I am gonna go with the under. Each of the Bills' last 8 games as road favorites have gone under. I think the weather being cold, and I think their Bills are gonna get a lead and maybe take look to run the clock out and get out of here with a win. But I think we're all in agreement. The money line and the spread's a little too hard to touch unless you're doing something like a teaser and trying to get more points for the Bears. I think the Bills money line. But I don't see as much scoring in these kind of weather games, and I think Buffalo's coming off a tough game. They'll try to keep the playbook simple and just try to get out with a win and everyone healthy.
Dennis, I saw Khalil Herbert is being activated by the Bears. Is he someone you would consider? And given what we saw from Justin Fields last week, both spectacular, but, I don't know if it was an injury, a cramp, what that was. How do you feel about this game from a fantasy standpoint? Anyone you feel really good about?
I really do like Khalil, but not this week. I think I did see he got activated. I think Montgomery is still a safe start. I'd feel comfortable putting him out there on DFS. He's a $6,500 salary in DraftKings, so pretty reasonable. I agree with Adam and Lope in the sense of it should be something that we should expect a lot of runs with the weather, but I think we'll see that translate to fantasy points. I'd feel good about Montgomery if I was picking one starter here.
One player I really like this week is Stephon Diggs. I could see him having a really good week. Also like Singletary. Think he's someone who could have a good week. Bears are not good against the run. I know last week they were a little bit better against Miles Sanders than I expected, but I do think Singletary and James Cook. James Cook's available in a lot of leagues off the waiver wire. He might be someone you want to consider just as a late play, given especially how these guys are analyzing the game with the weather and the importance of the run game. James Cook may be someone you want to look at off the waiver wire. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're following us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. The next game we're going to focus on in the 1 p.m. window on Saturday